I'm glad I switched. It's saving me money monthly on the appraisal tools, and it's making me money on the sales side. So I'm saving money on both ends.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Cue the Next Leader. I'm your host, Angela Rizzo, and today I'm here with Scooter Malloy from Alma CDJR. Scooter, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing great. Great. It's so nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I understand that you and your wife are owner-operators of your dealership. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your dealership and how long you've been in automotive?
Let's see. Well, Scooter Malloy and my wife, Jill Malloy, we purchased the store in leap year of 2013. Um, I'm from the East Coast and I moved to Michigan to the store. I have been in the business, will be 41 years in February. I started out with a family dealership. My dad's had been in the business since the early 50s. And it's the only job I've ever had is working in an automobile dealership.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be.
No, last year wasn't the greatest, but
Yeah, well, you got a lot of great experience. Was your wife in the dealership prior to getting married, or did
yes, she worked on the corporate side for 20 years. And then she's been with me since we bought it in 13.
that's great. That's wonderful. So, now I understand, is Jill the one who's running sales? She the GM?
She's the general manager of the dealership. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And then what's your role there?
Well, I'm the dealer and I handle most of the used vehicles.
Oh, I love it. So is Jill the boss or are you the boss?
Well, Jill's the boss. How's that? Was that the right answer?
You are a smart man. And you know, I've been hearing from your performance manager, Brian Ball, and from others that you are just very active in your 20 group, and you've been sending more dealers our way to come sign up for VINCUE.
Yes, I have. Yep, we just got back last week from our last 20 group meeting, and I think Brian has two or three more demos scheduled.
I mean, I guess sales is in your blood, but what is it about VINCUE that is having you share the love with other dealers?
Well, what first caught my eye about VinCue, I think I saw it in Auto Success magazine. I recognized one of the articles. I recognized the dealership because we used to have a dealership probably 15 minutes away back in the East Coast. And it caught my eye, and I took a look at it. And I said, boy, I said, if I can save a substantial amount of money from what I'm paying now and get more, I think I ought to look at it a little further. I did. It took a while to get used to just because I've been using the same tool I had been for 10 years. And I'm starting to get the hang of this now. There's still a lot of stuff I don't know, but I do know that since we've switched to VinCue, my used car grosses have gone up just under $700 a unit.
700 a unit?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
What other types of key metrics are you tracking that
I
you'd like to
track
share?
basically what I do is the most is my market. See how the stuff is mine compared to what's in the market. And I also compare it to equipment wise too. Some of them, like if you look at certain Ram trucks, the Bighorn package, there's different levels of the Bighorn package. And with the VinCue, I can dial it down into the exact package and the exact equipment and what's for sale. I can go out, depending on what kind of vehicle it is, I can go out as far as I want, but I try to stay within 100-mile radius. And if there's a lot of them, then I dial in even closer just so I can try to be at the top of the page and
Yeah.
still making money.
Well, that's great. Are you mostly selling trucks or do you got Jeeps or
We
what's the,
do Jeeps and trucks are our biggest thing.
I would
Trucks
think
because
so.
we're in the farming community, and Jeeps because everybody likes Jeeps.
Who doesn't love a Jeep?
Right.
I've always wanted a Jeep. I've never bought one.
You should
Maybe
try it.
I think I should. I think I should. Because they sure look fun when you get to take the doors off and the top off and,
Right.
riding around in the summertime.
Yes.
So, one of the things that Mike told me was that you couldn't come to Unleashed, our user conference last year because your daughter got married.
Yes. Yes, you did. Yep.
And so, what's that? We couldn't get her to change the date of the wedding.
No, she couldn't change the date. Well, the good thing is they're still married.
Well, that's good.
It's only been a few months, but they're still married.
Yeah, that's good. A day at a time.
Right.
You got to celebrate the small wins.
Right. That's what I told them in my speech. Take it one day at a time.
I love it. I love it. Well, you got a nice book of business there with like 50, 60 cars. Are there certain aspects of the VinCue system that you really like over others?
Yes. I like the fact that when I'm appraising a vehicle, I can go in and I can see really what the other dealers have paid for their vehicles. If I go in to look at the market, I can see if I'm looking at vehicles I'm going to buy at the auction. I can see what they basically paid for the vehicle, and I can go do my metrics by that.
Yeah, it's nice because we pull in all that market data, and
Right,
we like to think of VinCue as like having the medical record of the vehicle,
right,
right? Where you can see where it's been, what it's sold for,
right,
um, and then all those integrations we have with Axe and some of those other companies that really give you a rich suite of data so that you know exactly what you're buying,
right.
right?
And you can tell um, exactly what you can look and see what's been done to the vehicle
Yep.
before. And it's live data. It's not like some of the other companies, the appraising tools, they have the data, but it's not real time.
Right, exactly. So what's it like to work with your performance manager, Brian Ball?
Brian's pretty good. I sometimes he gets mad because I text him too early because we're an hour ahead. And sometimes I forget and text him. Sometimes it's 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock his time, but he usually responds back right away. He calls me. I talk to him probably 2, 3 times a week, trying to work things out. And if I have a question, he's right on it. And he's good. If I need anything, he's there.
Yeah, that's the hallmark of our performance managers. We want to make sure that we're there for our dealers. We like to say we work when you work. So he's just
Right.
going to have to get up earlier.
That's right.
I'll
And
pass
he's
that.
and they've been in the business too, so they know from our side what's going on. A lot of places have performance managers that have never worked in the trenches.
Yeah, that's tough. I think we pride ourselves on really having performance managers, to your point, that have either been GMs or they've been in dealerships. And then what they do is they're not just telling you how to use the system, they're actually looking at the data and helping
Right.
you get more out of VinCue and
Yes.
drive more efficiency and drive more profitability.
Yep. I was bugging them. I've been bugging them since we bought it, the system, and started with VinCue to give me texts when somebody's doing an appraisal, if I'm not around or if I'm doing something else. And finally, this week, I asked them about it, and you have it now. So now, when somebody else besides me does an appraisal, I get a text so I can go in and look at it.
So you are the guy that asked for that text feature?
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty cool, because one of the other things we do is we like to listen to our dealers about what do they need,
Right.
right? What's going to make their job and their lives easier? I'm excited that you had that text feature deployed. Is there anything else
Yes.
that you've done that got into the
Let's
system?
see. What have we done? We've worked on some of the descriptions for certified vehicles. He was able to get an extra tabs because certified with the Stellantis product, there's two types of certification. And before we had it in one, and now that we have two separate tabs, so I can pick which certification I'm using. I can use that in the description for the vehicle when it's online.
That's great. That's great. So are you, you mentioned that you're getting another $700 per unit because I guess you're able to price to the market.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other results and other improvements like turn or time savings or other things that you can talk about?
Yeah, I've when I go in when I buy vehicles at the auction, I haven't been able to buy as many because I've been sticking with the matrix that's in VINCUE, which has helped. So I haven't bought vehicles and overpaid for vehicles, and then you're stuck with them, and then when you try to get rid of them, you're losing money. Um, so that's helped. I haven't bought as many because I've used the matrix and tried to dial into the right market price, and it's helped for the
That's
turn.
that's great. That's great. I was just interviewing a dealer. It's a 3-store group down in Florida. And he told me that before VinCue, his turn was 8 to 10x a year. And it's
Mm-hmm.
gone up to 24x.
Yep.
So I guess if you really adopt the system and lean on that performance manager, you can really get some big benefits.
Yes, you can. Yep. But Brian he's helped us a lot, and he's trained us a lot because sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 times to learn how to do something, but he's been right there and keep going over it with me.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of great information. So, and that's the other reason we have the performance managers to help you kind of work through that stuff.
Right. He's helped me with on the acquiring vehicle side with the with through Craigslist and the cars.com tab. He's given me word tracks to for me and the salespeople to use when we try to buy vehicles from those sources.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the vehicle buying center
Yes. Yep.
and private party acquisition,
Right.
right? And talking to a consumer who's selling their car.
Yes.
And yeah, those conversation starters. And when you
Mm-hmm.
when you first talk to someone, do you identify yourself as a dealer or do you just act like you're just interested in the car?
At first, when I do the inquiry, I act just like I'm a regular customer, but then when I get talking with them, then I tell them who I am and where I'm from, and just go into the uh, word tracks that uh, Brian gave me, and the customers, well, the people selling the vehicles are fine. They're pretty good about it. They
Yeah,
know that at least they know that when we're calling them that it's not a game like some people customers coming in to buy a vehicle and they know we're serious and we can buy the vehicle and we'll give them the money for it if it's the right one.
it's interesting. I didn't know this until a few years ago because I'm not originally from the automotive industry. But I didn't realize that dealers would actually just write you a check for your car.
Yeah. Yep.
I always thought you had to trade it in.
Well, that's one of the ways, but yeah, sometimes it's even if they don't buy from us, we'll still buy their vehicle. It's
That's a big deal.
and it saves money without the auction fees and the transportation fees.
Yeah. And don't you find that when you buy from the public, the cars are typically in better shape than
The
the auction?
majority of the time, you can tell by looking at the vehicle ahead of time, and if some of the pictures you can tell, you don't even bother calling. But if it's
Yeah.
a good looking vehicle, then most of them keep their service records.
Yep.
And so
I
they can
get.
tell you what they've done because they're pretty proud of it because they want as much money as they can get for it.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So you and Jill have any plans? You guys gonna take any vacations or what's on your horizon?
Uh, well, yes, we usually take a few vacations a year. Um, we have friends in the Midwest and in the South that we go visit. South in the summer and in the Midwest in the excuse me, the South in the winter, Midwest in the summer.
You guys play golf?
Yes. Yep.
I knew
We
there was
just,
something I loved about you.
I just did that when we had our meeting. It was out in California, and I took a few extra days to go out and play a few rounds with some of the guys in the 20 group.
Isn't it a blast?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, there's golf is just, it's one of those sports. Well, at first you can play for as long as you can stand up and hold a club, but just the ability to be out there for 4 hours, 5 hours, just having fun, having a good time. It's funny when I play, friends will say to me, "Well, what do you talk about?" And I say nothing. We talk about golf. We talk about the
Right.
shot, right? We talk about what
Yep.
we're doing, our strategy. We're just into the game. We're in the moment.
Right. In December, middle of December, I was down in Florida. I played with a husband and wife. The wife was 90 and the husband was 85, and they walked the whole course, both of them.
And I bet you their balls were in the middle of the fairway,
Yes, they
100,
were right in the
125
middle.
yards long.
Yep. Yep.
I love it. I go out and play as a single a lot, and I usually get paired up with a bunch of guys, younger guys, much younger than me. And I've met some of the nicest people on the golf course. It's a lot of
Right, you
fun.
can. There's a lot of good people you meet out on the golf course.
Well, we're gonna have to get you out here for Unleashed in November, so
Yes,
that
I'm planning on coming out this time.
and come out a day early. We'll go play some golf.
Yes, that sounds all right to me.
All right, I love it. Well, hey, is there anything else you want to say or mention before I let you go?
The only thing is I'm glad I switched. It's saving me money monthly on the appraisal tools, and it's making me money on the sales side. So I'm saving money on both ends.
I love it. And if you ever get tired of selling cars, you can just come sell VinCue because you've already sent us about 6 leads.
I know I've got more to send, but Brian said I had to slow down. He can't take on any more customers.
Oh, forget that. Tell Brian that's garbage. We'll just hire more PMs.
Right.
Yeah, you need to send us all those leads. Don't be shy.
I'm pacing myself.
All right, I love it. Well, gosh, Scooter, it was so lovely to meet you and talk to you today.
Yes, you too.
You tell Jill I said hello, and hopefully I'll get to meet. Oh, hey, are you going to go to NADA?
I am not going to go to NADA. I've got some people that are going to be off, so we're going to have to be working the floor and trying to make sales instead of being behind the scenes.
That makes sense. Plus, it's near the end of the month.
Right.
All right. Well, maybe I'll catch you at Unleashed in November.
All right.
All right, Scooter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a great day.
You too.